Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the Game Precast, episode 9. My name is Frank. I am joined by Mike. This is our podcast where we talk about all things gaming. And we like to start the show off talking about what we've been playing recently. Mike, what has been going on with you?
Well, I got a list because we took last week off, and
Let's hear the list.
I have been playing quite a bit. So I finished Battlefield 4's campaign for the first time, and I've just been playing the
You never
multiplayer
finished
of
that?
that. The friends, no, I never did. Definitely not as good as 3, but
Oh, yeah, I know.
I went back and got all the endings. It's all right, but the hit reg in that game, man, it's the most busted hit reg in any FPS I have ever played. I mean, I was just playing before I actually hopped on here and I was raging quite a bit. I mean, it's just ridiculous when you dump a whole mag into somebody and it doesn't register. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Um, I also replayed Battlefield 3's campaign and the co-op missions, but I did that on hard for the achievements. I played through Battlefield Bad Company 2's campaign for the first time. Love that game. Absolutely hilarious and fantastic. Um, Played through Battlefield 5's campaign, those war stories, pretty shit. To be blunt, pretty terrible, pretty historically inaccurate.
Yes.
And I mean, it looks nice, pretty
Yeah.
graphics. I mean, that's about it though. Good gunplay as well. And then I went through MW2 Remastered. I did all the missions without dying for an achievement. That wasn't too bad on recruit. There was just a few BS areas where I'd get hit by like breaching a door and then some guy out of my line of sight hits me with a melee attack that's a one shot and then I got to restart, but it was pretty easy. And then I did the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the best in the series and my personal opinion for the best FPS of all time. Did that on veteran because I did the remastered on veteran, but now I just did the original. I did some COD 4 remastered again, just for some leftover achievements. And since I played through COD 4 and MW2, I decided to do MW3 as well because I just had time. So I mopped up some achievements in that, and I got all the intel. And then I played a little bit of Metro Exodus because I still haven't beaten that game. It's really
Dude,
good.
I
I
loved it.
got Yeah, I got past this next part in the Caspian Sea, but I'm still there. I'm taking it so slow, but I really like the game. I just got to really put some time aside to focus on it. And then finally, last night, I started Black Ops 3's co-op campaign, and me and my buddy are doing it on realistic. So if you get shot once, you're done. But
Really?
luckily, yeah, but luckily you can revive each other. It's still a little
Okay.
bit ridiculous, but we did the first 2 missions last night with relative ease, so the rest of it shouldn't be any problem. But as for you, what have you been up to this past week
I
or 2
have
weeks rather?
solely played Cyberpunk. That's about it. Yeah. In the last 2 weeks, I've just played Cyberpunk, and not a lot. I mean, my gameplay file, I want to say it was around 24 hours last night. And I
Really?
mean, I'm getting a little bit through the main story. I mean, there's still a decent amount left, I think. But,
I
and
mean,
there's
there's at
still
least 50 hours left for you because
50
100%ed it
hours.
I 100% in 75. So,
Okay, well, I'm probably not going to do the gigs right away. I'll probably come back to the game in a little, like, in a few months from now, and then do the gigs. But I'm
gotcha.
trying to get the main job, all the main story stuff done, and then the side jobs. Like I did, Panam's, however the fuck you say her name. Her,
Pan Am.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did her little
My wife.
quest line. Judy, I've done 2 out of probably like 4 or 5 of her missions,
Yeah, there's
and I
quite a
think
few.
those are like the only like pretty lengthy side storylines. I think at
Not
least.
true.
No, there's more.
Yeah, there's a few more.
Okay. So then I guess I have a decent amount of side content
Got to
left.
start looking around. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been banging out a few of the like the markers that are on the map.
Gotcha.
Um,
Like the
yeah.
police scanner hustles, like those or actual
Uh,
side missions and gigs.
well, I've been doing the like the what the fuck are those like psycho dudes called? I
Oh,
they
cyber
yeah, the
psychos.
cyber psychos. I did like 9 of
Yeah.
those so far. I think there's like 17 of them, so still
Yeah,
got
there
quite a
are.
bit. The Delman, whatever. How do you say his name? Delman,
Delamain.
dude.
Delamain, yeah.
That shit is so annoying. All right, I'll be like driving in
Really?
my car, going to do a mission, and then I get a phone call, and then he's like, "Oh, one of my cars went missing in your area," and I'm like, "No, I'm doing something now. I'll do it later." And then I drive into that area again. He calls me again. He just constantly calls me, letting me know about the same thing. Like I understood you the first time you called me. You don't have to keep calling me every time I go to the north side of the map. because there's just one car over there they wants me to get, and I'm doing stuff in the main story, so I'm gonna do it when I'm done with the main story. And he's just getting on my nerves. But
I've heard about that issue, but I personally didn't run into it because I just knocked out that was like the first side quest mission chain that I did was the Delamain stuff.
yeah, I did a few of them. I did like one in like the Badlands area, and I did like 2 or 3 more in Night City. So I
Mm.
think I have a few more because I think there's one for each district. But yeah, besides that, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've played anything else in Cyberpunk. I've been watching
Oh,
a
I
lot of
forgot.
Parks and Recreation. But
I started my second Cyberpunk playthrough. I just didn't get very far in it.
nice.
Doing a corpo life path this time. Now I'm doing the female V. I made her very sexy. But
Yeah, my
again,
second playthrough,
neither
I'll do
here
a
nor there.
female as well, so I could romance Judy. But
But yeah, that's what I intend to do as well. That's kind of why I picked it to just see all the different outcomes that you can't normally. Well, because there's certain things that are, like you said, locked to your gender. So,
yeah,
but no, you said been watching Parks and Rec. That's a great show, man.
yeah, it
I
is.
started Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, that's on my list.
It's pretty good. I mean, let's get one thing out of the way right here. I mean, nowhere near Sopranos,
Yeah, I was about to
of
say, there's no
course,
way it's gonna
of
beat The
course.
Sopranos.
No, 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 no. Of course not. But it's very good, very good, very well done. A lot of messed up stuff in that though. Um, lot
Like,
of mess. Well,
like
I mean, you
sexual
know me,
messed up or like
like
gory
like
messed
the
up.
well, you know me. Violence doesn't bother me. Like,
Okay.
I 100% MK11 in under a month. Like, I revel in that shit. I think it's awesome. I mean, not in real life, but like seeing
Yeah.
it, in
So sexual
fiction.
messed up.
It's awesome. Yeah, very,
Got
very
it.
messed up
Got it.
sexual shit. Yeah.
I know exactly where you're going with that, and I
I don't
understand.
think you do. I do not think you do, to be honest. And
So,
I am not going
not
to
not rape.
elaborate.
That's what I
N-
was assuming. I mean,
Well, it is. That's part of it. That's part of it, but it's much, much deeper than that, and it's not the
so
stereotypical
like
rape.
trafficking. Almost.
No, I can't. I'll tell you after the
Yeah, it's like
podcast.
we're gonna get
It's too
taken down
much.
by YouTube.
It's too much. It's too much. And if you guys watch Boardwalk Empire season 2 and season 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's where I am right
What
now.
channel is Boardwalk Empire from?
HBO.
It's an Asia. All right, I was. So then, yeah,
Actually, a lot of actors and writers who were on Sopranos come back
really.
for small roles in some episodes. Yeah, like Uncle June's on quite a few. So
How many seasons does it
Dominic
have?
Cheese. There's
5,
5 of Empire. Yeah,
and it's off air.
yeah, I
Okay.
believe so. But yeah, no, definitely worth a watch.
Okay. Well, I would like to mention that there are a few games that are free if you have PlayStation Plus.
Mm.
If you have the PS5, you can get Maneater, and then you can
Great
also get
game.
Shadow of Tomb Raider and Greedfall with the PS4.
Right. Well,
Um,
Maneater is the best shark game to ever exist, and this is coming from someone who played Jaws Unlimited a crap ton as a kid. It's basically that game, but modern graphics, way more to do, and just everything that you wanted to do in that game that you couldn't, you can do now. And the fact that you can evolve your shark, it's pretty much a shark RPG. That's the way they describe it too, but it's true, and it's a lot of fun. And I actually got it physically for PS5. I already have it for Xbox, and I 100%ed it earlier this year when it came out. But I got it again for PS5, and I would regret it now that it's free. But I like collecting physical
oh yeah, dude.
copies, obviously. So it wasn't any bother to me.
I mean, it's not really picking up with my back
I
green
can
screen,
see it.
but
Yeah.
I just got it for Christmas for Xbox, and then of course I see that it's free with PS5, so I got that listed on eBay right now. We'll see.
Ah, come on. It
I'm,
it performs better on Xbox. I'll tell you that right now.
yeah, but if I
Definitely
have it on
performs better.
PS5, it's like I don't know.
That
And
damn
then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that was
weakest.
2018, I
Yeah,
believe.
definitely the weakest of the new Tomb Raiders. I mean, they just didn't innovate at all. They had the most intriguing setting, and it was the finale to like Lara's origin story trilogy, and they botch it. Like there was such a good cliffhanger ending, and I usually don't like cliffhanger endings, but at the end of Rise of the Tomb Raider, I actually liked it because it wrapped up the main plot, and then like the main plot of her family, which is the theme that's connected throughout all 3 of these games. What
Yeah,
happened to her father and whatnot. Um, they left that really up in the air at the end of Rise of the Tomb Raider, but in a way that was captivating. Like I couldn't wait to see what happened next. and they just botch it by because it was a whole mystery in Rise of the Tomb Raider. Oh, who's running Trinity? Who's running Trinity? As soon as you're about to find out, your stepmom gets capped. So it's like, who is this guy? And just in the beginning of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it's like, oh, it's this person. You never heard of him before. It's just a random dude, but yeah, this is the guy you've been trying to find, and he's here, and you're hunting him down. I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah,
it's such a weird jump, and the graphics are worse for some reason. I just thought, like, the textures looked more plasticky than they did in other games, and the characters, the side characters, are just really not as compelling as they were in the past, and I think that's because Tomb Raider Definitive Edition and Rise of the Tomb Raider, sure, you have allies, but for most of it, you're Lara isolated trying to survive, and then just in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, there's not as much of that, and
yeah, you're in
there
like a settlement
therefore
for a pretty
yeah,
big
now there's a
section of the game.
spotlight on these side characters that were never meant to be fleshed out, and we see why in Shadow of the
Who
Tomb
was the
Raider
big
because
guy?
he's not
I forget
good.
his name.
Jonah,
Jonah. All
Jonah.
right.
He was really good in the first game and in Rise, and then
Yeah,
they just blew him up in this game, and I'm just like, I don't care about you anymore. You don't even, and he doesn't even look like the same guy as he did in the past games.
yeah,
I don't know. And then they shove like a love storyline with him and some settlement girl. It's like I don't care. I'm here to go on an archaeological expedition and shoot some bad guys. That's why I'm here. And just they didn't really innovate at all, and it was just a very lackluster plot. I mean, for free, try it out, but
definitely.
Tomb Raider Definitive Edition and Rise of the Tomb Raider, in my opinion, are 9s out of 10 both, and I think that anyone would enjoy those games way more than Shadow. Way
Yeah,
more.
I mean,
Particularly
if you've never
Rise.
played a Tomb Raider game before and you want to try it out, I mean, it'd make more sense to just get the. I think it was 2011 was when Definitive Edition came out, right?
2011 or 2012, around
All
there.
right, I mean, it would make more because that game still holds up, dude. I
It's
mean, even
awesome.
though it's an older game, that
It's
game is still
awesome.
awesome. It still looks pretty
It's
good.
beautiful. Yeah, no, I
And
love it.
I mean, in Rise of the Tomb Raider, you can get that for like $15 probably. So,
I've been
and both
trying
of
to
those
find
games
a
are
copy for
incredible
Xbox.
games.
They are. I Rise of the Tomb Raider is it rivals the Uncharted games.
Yeah,
Rise is by far the best out of the trilogy, the one in Siberia. So good.
yeah.
I
And
hope
then with
because
release
again, well, Shadow wasn't even made by Crystal Dynamics because Crystal Dynamics was making
working on
Avengers,
Avengers,
so
right?
they moved it to Eidos Montreal, and I think that's why we got what we got
Now, do you
because
think they'll go back and work on it, or do you think they're gonna keep it with Eidos?
I don't want them to because I want Eidos Montreal to go back to working on Deus Ex, and I want
Yeah,
Crystal Dynamics to go back to working on Tomb Raider. Like, stop pushing these studios to do things that they are, clearly not comfortable with. Let them do what they want. And I mean, just look at Avengers. Look how that turned out. Clearly, Crystal Dynamics had no idea what the hell they were doing with making a live service. No idea. And I don't mean to like rag on them, but come on, Avengers was just terrible. Maybe the core gameplay was solid for some heroes, but it's just overall a crappy
I mean, dude, the
experience.
first 2 hours of it was such a good game, and then it just felt
A-Day
completely
was
different.
awesome.
It
Like,
just
I
felt
shouldn't
like it was
no,
so
go on.
clear that they were working on something, and then it got switched last minute, and they went, "Oh, we
Mhm.
got to make this game so it could be game as a service." And
Yeah, no.
I mean, I haven't played the DLC yet. I know the Kate Bishop one came out. I don't know. Have you tried it yet?
No, I haven't even beaten the game, man.
Oh. Yeah, I beat the
I have
game.
no
I did
interest.
most of the side content, like the actual good side content. Not quote unquote good, but you know what I mean. The non
Yeah.
like repetitive stuff. Um, yeah, I gotta reinstall Avengers and then I'll check it out eventually. But there's just other good games out that I'd rather play. So
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
I'm in no rush to play it because I think they kind of cut it off. I'm assuming they cut this DLC off because I think there's supposed to be a separate like part two of the Hawkeye DLC. I'm not 100
Yeah,
percent sure, but I
there
remember
is.
hearing that. So
It's gonna
I'd
be
rather
Clint
just wait for
Barton.
that to come out and then just play
That's
them
when
all at
they're gonna
once.
have Clinton. Yeah,
But
I agree with that. Would definitely be the smart way to act when it comes to this. I can't get back into it. I thought it was so abysmal. I really did not like Marvel's Avengers at all. Kinda
yeah,
thought it was a waste of time and money more than that.
well, they wasted a lot of money on it because I don't even think they've made a profit yet.
No, well, they don't deserve to because they just stole from me. I mean, come on, you're gonna sell me an unfinished game. What else am I supposed to think of it as besides theft? Completely unfinished.
Yeah.
Uh, when the first patch dropped, wasn't it like 1,200 bugs were fixed or something crazy like
Yeah,
that?
there's a lot.
Like it launched with over 1,000 bugs, like, and people still give Cyberpunk more shit. Baffles me. Baffles me. Like if CDPR does it, burn them to the ground. But if Bethesda does it, if Square Enix does it, oh, it's just expected. I don't know, man. The double standard kind of annoys me. Like judge everything the same. Okay?
Yeah. I think it's just because a lot of people had like I don't want to. It's like there shouldn't be a double standard, but there is a double standard. Like Skyrim was broken, Fallout was broken all the time, and you expect Bethesda to do those, and then you have like CD Projekt Red as this like holy grail company, which it shouldn't be. People need to stop like idolizing companies because at the end of
Yeah,
the
they
day, they're a business.
mythologize them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I don't know where I was going with that thought, but anyway,
Money
Avengers.
matters most at the end of the day, is where I
Yeah,
think you were going.
yeah,
To all
yeah.
corporations, it doesn't matter who they are.
All the
Their
companies
goal is
or
to
no
turn a
company
profit.
is doing anything for you. I remember, I was fighting with this guy on Twitter the other day. I gotta see what I was fighting with him.
Twitter fights are always productive.
It was something about, I actually have to go scroll and find this. Give me 1 second.
Well,
It was about, oh, dude, it's on the tip of my fucking tongue. We're not
was
taking a
it
cut
about
here.
a game or was it about a company
It was
or
about The Office, I
oh, it was
think.
about The
Yeah. All right.
Office,
So you know how
like
The
the
Office went to
show?
Yeah. You know how it went to Peacock,
Yeah.
right? And this guy was arguing. Me. I have the tweets right here. So someone was complaining about like saying, oh, they only give away 2 seasons free on Peacock because on Peacock they give away 2 free seasons of The Office, and then if you want to get the rest of it, you have to pay for Peacock, like a
Yeah.
subscription fee. Like, and he was arguing that like, oh, they should just give all of them away for free, and because like they should be doing it for the sake of entertainment, and
Entitled much?
yeah, the Peacock, which I think is owned by NBC,
Yeah.
they should be doing it for the sake of wanting people to be entertained. And I had to explain to him that they are a business at the end of the day. I mean, Netflix. I forget how much Netflix is a month. I think it was like $14.
It's if you want 4K, it's up to like 25 now.
Oh, I don't.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but he was
And
arguing
they're
that, and
losing
I'm like, dude,
subscribers
they're
left
a
and right.
business at the end of the day. They want your money. They're not just gonna give you all 9 seasons for free. They gave you
Why
two
would you want
seasons
the
for free to hook
knife?
you in, and then if you want to pay for the rest, you can pay for the rest. I mean, it's still cheaper than what Netflix is. Obviously, there's less content on Peacock than
Way less
Netflix.
content.
If you have Xfinity, you get it for free, which is cool. So I don't even have to pay for it. You get you still have ads. I think there's one ad per episode, which isn't terrible. I mean, it's a 30-second ad usually, and
Beats
then
watching reruns on Comedy Central.
yeah.
That's what I've been doing because they
And
have
there's
like
a
5 minute
deleted scene. So
commercials.
they just released something that was never before seen. It was a cold open, and it had
Hmm.
Dwight doing something with the Matrix, which I thought was really cool. Like this was not even like technically like a deleted scene that we've seen because you can find all the deleted scenes on YouTube. This was a deleted scene that was never before released. So I mean, if they have more stuff like that, then I think a lot of Office fans are gonna like that. And if they, what they could do is make like extended episodes, edit in all the deleted scenes. Like I think that would be so smart to do.
Yeah, like the Stanley hentai thing.
Yeah,
I
dude, if
really
you
want
just
that to
edit
be
in
in an
every
episode.
deleted scene, and then you have extended episodes that are much longer, and you add in a ton, well, you can probably make The Office like I don't want to say double in length, but you can
Definitely
definitely
not double, but maybe like an eighth
yeah, and
more.
you can make add some quality because a lot of the deleted scenes are actually pretty good. Like I
Hmm.
don't know if you watched them on YouTube, but I've seen quite a few, and there a lot of them have really good content that they could just add in, and then you get a ton of extra Office content. And I think that would be the best way to try to convince people to come to Peacock to watch The Office.
I mean, they also have those collections on there. I saw like Best of
Yeah,
Jim,
Best of
Best of
Jim, Best of
Pam,
Pam.
Worst of Toby. I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It was pretty clever, but yeah, at the end of the day, guys, these are corporations. Their goal is to make money. They don't care about appeasing you, only when it puts cash in their pockets. That's why they hop on to political movements. That's why they hop on to trends. They just want your attention so they can have your money and then you move on to their next product. It's that simple. They don't give a shit about you, so stop acting like they're your friends because
Yep,
they're not. They don't owe you anything and you don't owe them anything.
exactly.
It's a faceless husk that is designed to only make money and nothing else.
We just
So
went
don't
off
be
so off
surprised.
topic.
I mean, don't be surprised when corporate. I just don't. That's just so entitled. That guy on Twitter, dude.
I do.
That's
I
so
know. I
entitled.
saw that, and I was like, he's like, oh, they should be free. They should be caring about our entertainment. And I'm like, no, they shouldn't be caring about your entertainment. They're $1 billion company or whatever NBC is. I mean,
Yeah, and I should have a 24-karat Rolex. You know. So
and then back to the PlayStation Plus collection, or not
yeah, back
collection,
to
but
games.
back to video games. No longer Office rants. Greedfall, another really good game. Now I haven't played it. I've heard great
Very
things about
slept
it.
on. Very underrated. I
Uh,
didn't beat it, but I got about maybe 10, 12 hours in. I really enjoyed what I played. Very
yeah,
unique, but it's not perfect. There's definitely some flaws. I would say it's about a double A RPG. I would give it like a 7.5, 8. It's a decent experience, and for free, go for it. You'll have a good time if it's your
and
type of game.
for the Xbox gamers, this is on Game Pass, and the PC gamers. So no matter where you're playing, you can get Greedfall for a very cheap or free price. So definitely check it out. I mean, if you're into RPGs, it's worth a shot. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I haven't played it yet. It's installed. It's on my computer. It's on the list, the infamous
It's on the
list.
list. It's in the
I
backlog.
got Cyberpunk first. I got to deal with, and then we'll see what's next.
Demon Souls.
Dude, I'm working on it. We're getting
Yeah,
close to new games. Because
you
I will
said
always
Demon
play the
Souls
new
was
games
next.
before
Ah,
games on my backlog, and I think the medium is the 26th, maybe. Which I did request a review copy. We'll see what happens with that. And Hitman 3, which also requested a review copy for that. And Hitman 3 is the 20th, I believe. So we got two good games coming out very soon. But once again, I don't have work and I don't have school right now. So I got a lot more free time. So hopefully Cyberpunk is getting beaten very soon. But we
yeah.
will see about that.
Well, all I'm gonna say to you and everyone watching is that if you don't play Demon Souls after Cyberpunk like you said you would, you're a scared little boy.
Well, to be fair, I said I'd play it in December, and we've already into
You're
January, so we've already broken that promise.
slithering and weaving like a damn serpent, man.
Okay,
Your
so
forked tongue is telling lies.
dude, I'm gonna hate it. I just know I'm gonna hate it.
You
Like I'm
shouldn't.
gonna rage quit at the first boss, the boss that kills you automatically and you don't have a chance of beating. Like I'm gonna rage at that and quit.
Vanguard Demon, you can kill Vanguard Demon, and actually, if you do, if you go past him, there's the original fluted knight helmet, and it's only in that area of the game. It's the only way you can get it if you don't die to Vanguard Demon. Pick it
Well,
up.
plot twist, Mike. I'm gonna die to Vanguard Demon.
Oh yeah, I did
I
too. I
don't
mean,
have
I
a
didn't
shot.
really try to kill him. I just wanted to get into the main game, but you know, uh, other than that, game's fantastic. I mean, even with that, the game's fantastic. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't play it.
I mean, I
It's the
have to beat it before Elden Ring comes. So
I'll tell you this, it was my game of the year by far. There's nothing better that came out. Certainly not The Last of Us 2.
oh,
Last of Us 2 is just a rancid pile of I don't even know I would say shit, but that's not that's too kind to be honest. So Demon Souls is just infinitely better than anything else that came out this year in terms of quality. Just nothing that matches it. Good job, Blue Point. And as much
yeah,
as
I'm
I love
excited to see what
Cyberpunk,
Bluepoint's gonna do next. I
yeah,
mean,
probably Metal Gear. I hope Metal Gear. If not Metal Gear, I'll be very upset because
it would
that's
make
what it was
sense.
looking like. It would work. You know what? If they did Castlevania, I wouldn't even be mad about it. I couldn't be. I absolutely couldn't be. I love Castlevania.
All right, so we are gonna get into our actual topics of the week. So first up, we have God of War. So David Jaffe, I don't know. He's one of
Jappy,
the original God of War guys, and he came out and he thinks that God of War Rag, Ragnarok, or,
Ragnarok.
yeah,
Yeah,
God of War Ragnarok will be cross generation. Um, I don't know. I mean, part
I
of me wants
certainly
to
hope
believe
not.
that. Yeah, I hope not as well, and I think it's gonna get pushed into 2022. And I feel like game coming out in 2022, coming on PS4, is gonna feel really weird.
You're just gonna hold back its ability to look as best as it can. That's all you're gonna do if you release it for the PS4.
Yeah. I mean, unless they were developing this and planning on putting this on PS4 originally, but I don't think. They would have,
That's
because God of War came
no,
out in 2017. So I don't think it
2018.
would have. That was 2018. All right. So then, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think it was in their plan to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this out in 2 years and we're gonna get this released in 2020 on the PS4, and then it just down now.
I
So
I I I don't think they will. I think that that's gonna be a PS5 exclusive because, 1, you're gonna want people to transition, and now
and
that
they'll actually have
stock's gonna be
stock.
coming back yeah, stock's coming back this year, and it'll be widely available in 2022, and I do not believe Ragnarok's coming out this year. I do think it's gonna get delayed probably to, like, March 2022, maybe a little bit sooner, maybe a little bit later, but just around beginning of springtime, maybe end of springtime, just that general time frame for the year, but I don't see it coming out this year. I just think that's way too soon, and
Yeah.
to put this game on PS4, like I said before, my main point is you would just be bottlenecking it. You would just be holding it back from what it could look like, from how it could perform. I mean, if you're developing it for only next gen consoles, you don't have those last gen limitations in your mind anywhere. I mean, but if they do put it on PS4, every single innovation they're gonna wanna make, every single escalation in the gameplay and the narrative that they're gonna wanna make this outdo the previous entry, they're gonna have to consider, will the base PS4 or even the Pro be able to run it? And I don't even want that to be a question in developers' heads. I want them to be untethered and just use the full power of the PS5 that's available to them to make this sequel. I mean, God of War 4 was such a leap from 3, I wanna see the same from 4 to Ragnarok, and I think that's fair.
Yeah. And I mean, it's we haven't even like seen like actual like cinematic trailer for it. Like
Nope.
usually, like if we had actually got like a real cinematic trailer for it, kind of like we got for Horizon, then maybe it's all right. It's possible because like the first Sony event, maybe they'll show some gameplay and then it'll get released. But we haven't seen an actual trailer. We just saw the name God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, and
That's
a
it.
logo.
Yeah, a logo. I mean, that's not enough to really convince me that this game is going to be ready, and especially with COVID, causing internal delays. And I mean, you want your game to be polished after just seeing what happened with Cyberpunk, how many people got upset about bugs in that. You don't want any bugs in your game, really. So use the excuse of COVID to delay it. I mean, you pretty much have a free pass here to delay it without anyone getting angry at you.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I honestly think that the 2021 release date was kind of a farce from the start, so people would be like, "Oh, God of War 5 is only a year away, maybe I should pre-order a PS5."
that's what I was
That's
thinking as
what I
well.
think. Yeah.
Because they wanted to make it like seem like they have this crazy lineup for PS5 in the first year, which I do think they do, but I just don't think we're going to see that. I don't think we're going to see the new Final Fantasy game. I think that will be 2022 as well. I think they put these as like,
If
the
not
best case.
2030.
I mean, I
We'll
think they just
see.
put these in as like best case scenario. Like, hey, we're really trying to get these out here, but it's probably never going to happen. It's super unlikely. I mean, I think Horizon Zero Dawn 2, or I forget they have an actual name for that now, but
Forbidden West.
Forbidden West, yeah. I think that will just get pushed to closer around the fall time. And, I mean, we'll get Ratchet. I don't even know what's going on with Ratchet anymore. I thought,
Ratchet's coming soon. I saw a tweet, from someone at Insomniac. I think it's gonna come early 2021.
you see, that's what I thought as well. I thought quarter one for sure. And
Mhm.
that still makes sense
I
to me.
agree.
But we haven't seen, like, an actual release date. Like, are
We'll
they
see
gonna,
it soon.
like,
Their next
are
state of
they
play,
gonna
they have
do
to.
a state of play and be like out in a week, out in a month? Like I feel like they want enough time to actually really advertise this game. They have done a ton of gameplay out at like 2 events now, but I still feel like they usually try to get the release date out and then, start putting TV ads on and stuff like that. So I
I
don't
say
know.
they'll announce it 2 months ahead of time.
Yeah, so that would if they want to do like a March release, we should be getting a state of play soon. Like, and it would make
Maybe
sense.
January 15th, because
It,
that was the rumored
that
date
would
for
make
Resident
sense.
Evil 8 pre-orders opening up. We get
Yeah, I
Resident
mean
Evil 8
Resident Evil
gameplay.
8, we need to see release date for that. Ratchet and Clank, you need to get information on that. Returnal, I mean that's coming out in March, I believe. But
I think you're right.
I mean you'd want to see one final look at that at like a big Sony event. I would think at least. Um,
I would.
Gran Turismo, that needs a release date. There's all these things that are supposed to be coming in the first half of the year. Even Horizon, I think that was rumored or to be like right in the summertime. So
Like June-ish, like
yeah,
right
and they're
start
not
of
going
June.
to have like their E3 event right in the summer and be like, oh, it's out now. they would want to actually market that game. So if that is coming out when they're saying it is around June, you would think they would want to show something off now, get at least gameplay out. I mean, we haven't even seen gameplay for that game. So I feel like there has to be something from Sony in the next
We
month or
haven't
so.
seen gameplay for anything that we just said besides RE8 and Returnal. I
And
mean,
Ratchet.
and Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I mean, Gran Turismo, we saw that little bit, I think, in-engine gameplay, but it
Yeah,
wasn't
but
like
that's not
true
gameplay.
gameplay. Yeah. Um, yeah, something's got to happen. Maybe the 15th, hopefully. I mean, that would be cool.
That's what
That's
I'm hoping for.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Game Awards we would have saw a lot of this stuff, Ratchet and all that, but
I
they
thought we
held.
would have seen a lot at the Game Awards.
Yeah, they held out. I mean, it
Game
was.
Awards was so lacking this year. Probably one of the worst ones, to be honest. I mean, honestly, yeah, to me that was probably the worst Game Awards I've ever seen.
It was just disappointing
So
because we had
boring.
such high hopes, and they opened the show with like, such good
It's
stuff.
not like they tried to quell those high hopes, though.
Oh, but that's fucking dude. He always does that. He
It's not like
oh
they were.
he's always like, oh, it's gonna be the craziest year yet. We got all this new stuff planned, and then it's like, no.
They have nothing. Like, come on, Jeff. Like, you had nothing this year. Like, you had Back for Blood. Cool.
Which was awesome.
It was awesome. But, like, that's it. Come on, Jeff.
Yeah.
Gotta step it up next year. I want Elden Ring. Where is Elden Ring? That's
Yeah.
supposed to come out first half of this year, too. So,
It's
State of Play. Hopefully, we'll freaking see it.
well, no. Elden Ring is Microsoft. They got marketing
Is
rights
it
to that.
now?
Yeah, they have marketing rights.
Yes, that's right.
So
Phil S. was
either
saying he
a
was
random
playing.
event, them just like going because they could just go on Twitter and be like, yeah, we got an event coming. Go on Twitch right now, and that shit will go viral.
Yeah,
Like
no,
that game is it's the most hyped game right now.
it
So they
is.
could do that. They don't need to really put it at an event. I saw rumors saying that it would come. I want to say it was either February. There's some event going on in Asia, so people think it could be there. I think it was like
The
the
Taiwan
Taiwan
show you were
game, yeah, the
talking about?
Taiwan show. But I don't know. I mean, I still think I don't. They could have had some deal because the rumor was that they had a deal back in 2020 was going to be at the show, but then the show got canceled. So then I think if the show just got canceled, that deal would fall out and they would just go announce it at the Game Awards or somewhere else. I don't think they would
But they didn't.
necessarily wait a year to go for the show, but now I guess that could be possible. I mean, that's the next biggest show.
Maybe they
Um,
just want to announce it like right before it comes out. Because I
that
imagine
too.
it's done. I imagine they're just polishing it at
That's what
this
they've been
point.
saying. That's the rumor that it's
Yeah.
polished, it's ready. They're just doing the final touches on it. So I don't know, but
Whenever it comes out, I expect it to be exquisite, though. I really do. I'm so freaking excited for Elden Ring, man. It's gonna be such a good game. I don't even know what it's gonna be about.
dude,
I don't even
we
know
know
what the
nothing
gameplay
about it.
is gonna be. But from that one trailer, and I don't have faith really in George R. R. Martin, but a man that I have complete trust in is Hidetaka Miyazaki. So we'll
I mean, I
see.
got faith in George.
I don't know. He needs to keep the incest at a minimum. He he's a big fan, and I don't know why.
Dude, the game's gonna open up. There's just gonna be a tower. You're gonna go up two random characters. Oh yeah, we're brother and sister. We're doing it in this tower.
Cersei and Jamie.
Uh,
Literally the first episode of Game of Thrones. Whatever.
dude, I remember just seeing that. I didn't even like. I don't even want to talk about Game of
Yeah,
Thrones,
let's
bro.
not go
I'm gonna
into
get
it.
depressed
Shit
thinking about
show.
how the show got ruined. All right, you want to talk about Outriders?
Let's talk about
All right,
Outriders because I was very disappointed to hear this news because I pre-ordered my copy like last week.
yeah. So they
So
out on Twitter today, they said, "Happy New Year. We believe it's important that players get to experience a new IP like Outriders before release, so that you can decide for yourself whether the game is actually something you want to pre-order, purchase, or play. For this reason, we're excited to announce that on February 25th, we will be publishing a free demo giving everyone a chance to play the first few hours of the game with all four classes in both single player or co-op, along with seamless migration of your character and progress to the full game." Now that's
oh,
cool.
that's awesome. I didn't
That's
hear that last part.
Now that's cool because that's going to give you the option to actually continue your characters. I hate when you do a demo, and I don't want to progress in the demo if I'm just gonna have to redo all that.
Yeah,
And
I didn't finish the Marvel's Avengers demo because
yeah,
or
so
beta or whatever
let me
because
just
I heard
finish
it
this
was
last part before we talk about it.
yeah.
Speaking of which, we've decided to move the release date of Outriders from February 1st to April 1st. No joke. We will be spending the extra time to fine tune the game and focus on delivering a fantastic play experience at launch. Thanks for hanging tight a little bit longer. We appreciate your patience, the Outriders team. Now, this game was supposed to come out in
February
November,
2nd.
but originally before that, because it got
Oh,
delayed
oh.
to
I think
I want,
December.
yeah, I think December as well. It
I
was
think it shared
originally,
Cyberpunk's release date. I
yeah,
think.
the Cyberpunk got delayed, and they announced their delay to February, and now they're delaying it again. Um, I don't think they're necessarily delaying this because we want players to definitely be able to play it. I think there might be some issues with it, but I remember people who played it, like people in the industry played it. I think it was back in like October or September, and people genuinely liked it. They
Yeah, I
thought it was
saw the
pretty good.
gameplay. Looked good.
So I'm assuming the first few hours of this game are really, really perfect. Now the end game stuff is probably where I'd be more concerned, but I
Yeah.
mean, because people in the industry played the first few hours and now they're giving it to the public in February. So you got to assume the first few hours are really, really polished. So,
You
they're
wanna know what I
probably.
bet?
What?
I bet that they're delaying it so, like you said, that they can make sure the end game's viable, because
Yeah.
that's how these live services live and die. If your end game isn't fun, if it isn't replayable, if it isn't even worth playing, like, again, Marvel's Avengers,
Yeah.
your player base is going to die almost immediately. So the end game is by far the most important part of these live service MMOs, or whatever you wanna call them,
Yeah.
or just looter shooters, whatever they may be. Um because until you release your next expansion or your next update or your next event, whatever it may be, they're only going to have that end game to keep them occupied. And if you
Exactly.
want them to pay money for your new content, you need them to be invested in the game, not just when the expansions come out, but pretty much year round, or at least pop in and out throughout the year. You need
Yeah.
to give them a compelling reason to keep going. That's why so many live service games die. And I guarantee you, they're delaying it so they can make sure that people stick with it,
And the
which
other
I'm
thing
all
is
for.
that with like these new consoles, you know how the storage situations are in both the PS5 and the Xbox. There's not
Oh
a lot
my
of room,
god.
and expansion options are either really expensive, so you want people to keep your game installed, and you got to give them a reason to keep your game installed. Like Call of Duty, when it's like 200 gigabytes or whatever.
Oh, I've had that uninstalled for months now because I
Exactly,
just
and it's
don't
like
got
something
the
like
room.
Outriders would probably be a pretty big game. I would assume like 100 gigabytes maybe. So you need to convince
Really? You
people.
think so?
I think so. I
I
don't know
think
though.
maybe 50 at launch. That's my guess, but what do
Yeah,
I
I'm not.
know?
I mean, but you got to give a reason for people to keep your game installed when there's really not a lot of space on these consoles. So,
No, there's none. All those games that I was playing that I listed off, at the beginning of the show, I had to uninstall and reinstall them so many times when swapping them out because there's just no space. And I'm sorry, Seagate, not paying $220 for a terabyte.
yeah.
Not doing it.
And they
Never.
did confirm in the responses that the demo is not timed, so you can run around however long you want. Like with Resident Evil, like their demos are usually like, oh, you got 20 minutes, go do as much as you can, and then you're done. But
Yeah,
here, it's, I guess, yeah, maybe like the 4 hour mark in the main story, they cut you and say, no more. And I don't know.
that's
I mean,
awesome. I mean, that's a pretty pro-consumer move. I
yeah.
mean, I wonder though if they would do it if they weren't delaying the game. I wonder if they still intended to do that regardless of when the release date was.
And they also confirmed that you won't have to pre order to play it, it will be free for everyone to play the demo.
Nice move.
So,
Nice move.
all right, on that note, we are going to move into our final little topic of the day. So, an article came out talking about how maybe 10, 20 years ago, Microsoft was trying to acquire Square Enix, and then also, like,
1999, right?
yeah, and then also, I want to say maybe like 15 years ago, they were trying to acquire Nintendo. Now, obviously, neither of those things happened, but what do you think, like, how the industry would have changed if those deals did go through?
Well, I mean, Microsoft would definitely be a presence in Japan.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that they didn't secure something back then because they've tried to establish a foothold in Japan with this new generation. And yes, Series X's did sell out, but there just weren't many to be sold to begin with. I mean, Microsoft's just not that popular over there, and they need a Japanese company. They need to acquire a Japanese company if they want to have a Japanese audience. I mean,
now,
excuse me, we discussed that earlier in the year with Sega being a possibility. Never heard anything on that. It might still happen, but as of right now, we have no clue. If they were to acquire Square, honestly, I think their games would have suffered for it. I don't think we would have gotten, you know, the 10 years of development time that Final Fantasy 15 needed if Microsoft was the boss. I don't think we would have gotten the 14 years of development time for Kingdom Hearts 3, and maybe that could have been a good thing for that game in particular, but you never know how these things are going to shake up if they have, like a corporate overlord. And again, this is pre Phil Spencer Microsoft. This is pre pro consumer Microsoft. So honestly, I think it would have been pretty detrimental for the gaming space overall if this went through in terms of just the quality of experiences we would have gotten over the years. And Microsoft definitely needed to be humbled, so they had to stumble and lose a little bit to get where they are now. I kind of like how things worked out, and I like having, the big four. There is Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Valve. And honestly, I like that arrangement. I like how there's a variety of platforms. If Microsoft was to buy Nintendo, I don't want to play Mario on Xbox. I'm sorry, but I don't. I want to play Mario on a Nintendo console. And I just find that kind of silly that they even tried that because Nintendo's been around since the 1800s, man.
Yeah.
They started out making playing cards. Like these people have been around the block for quite a while, and for Microsoft to just assume they can walk in. I mean, like I'm an American, but like I gotta say that's American ignorance right there. Just assume you can walk in with all this money and just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy your place." And then even in the article you showed me, Square just said, we'd like to go through with the deal, but our banker has one last thing to say. It's just we're worth way more money,
Yeah,
and then
we need
they
to
ask
double
for
that,
double.
and we need to triple that.
I mean, but come on, you go to these well-established companies and it's kind of like insultingly low, these offers. I mean, for the quality of content that they have released post these, potential acquisitions since 1999 or whenever the Nintendo one was,
Yeah.
um, they have put out some amazing titles. And it is fun to speculate how things could have gone. It's fun to read these transcripts, but I gotta say, for me personally, I'm happy with how things shook out.
Also, Nintendo just did their first acquisition in I think 15 years. It was the studio
Wait,
that worked
who?
on Luigi Mansion 3, whatever that game's called that just came out recently.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, it was the studio that worked on that, and they've done some other stuff in the past with them. They just acquired them, which I mean, they haven't made an acquisition in 15 years, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like,
It is.
Microsoft and Sony keep acquiring all these platforms, and Nintendo has just kind of been chilling there. And not that Microsoft or Sony was going to go acquire the studio and have them go make games for them, because different
Yeah.
markets are there. But it is cool to see that they locked up someone who they've been working with for a while.
It would be nice to see Nintendo establish more of a foothold. I mean, I think we're gonna see that more and more with the coming years because I do believe the Switch is gonna outsell the PS4 over time. I think that's
I
gonna
agree,
become the highest selling console of all
especially when the
time.
Switch Pro comes out, which is
Oh
rumored for
yeah, it's
2021.
game over. It's game over as soon as that drops because you have the Lite, you have the regular, and you have the Pro, and then they can just go off and branch off and do other models. And
Yeah.
I guarantee you, the Switch is gonna last as long as the DS, 3DS line, if not longer.
I mean, they'll probably make the Switch Pro $400, which dude. I mean, I
That's
was.
a gut punch, but
It
I
is a
think you're
gut
right.
punch, but when you think about how good the original Switch is selling at $300, it's kind of hard for them to not do it for
Yeah,
more. I mean, if the original
350 would
Switch
be
wasn't really selling
nice.
a lot, then yeah, discount the original Switch. 350 would be cool, but I still think 400 because that is still gonna sell out. People are gonna buy it. People are suckers. Me and
Unfortunately,
you are
I
gonna go
agree.
buy it. We all
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like they can make minimal changes to it, and this thing's gonna sell out. People are a sucker for Nintendo, even though they're so anti-consumer sometimes. People
They are.
will
Well, not sometimes, all the
a lot of
time.
time. Yes.
I love them. They make great games. They really haven't ever made a bad game for the most part. I mean, like, I'm talking like Nintendo of Japan,
Yeah.
their in-house studio. Um, but I don't know, man. They need to get better with their, public relations. They are definitely lacking in that aspect.
Now, my final thing, I want to go right back to Microsoft again. Now, we know about Crossfire X. That was announced that Microsoft was working on that. I think that was at the summer show for Microsoft. I forget the exact name of the show, but the one that happened in July. They
Yeah.
showed that off with the single player aspect. They said Remedy's working on it, and
Only
it's
reason why I'm gonna give it the time of day,
yeah.
by the way,
Now,
since he's
this
working on
game
it.
is supposedly some massive game in Asia. I don't know how big of a player base it has in Japan, but in China and Korea. I mean, that's majority of the players in China and Korea, and supposedly there's 650 million people who play this game. Like that is a
Wow,
massive
that's kinda
China.
mind-boggling.
It's a huge amount in China and Korea. Now my thing is here. I mean, Xbox hasn't really announced anything about we're acquiring this Japanese studio. Is it possible where they're gonna say, all right, you know what, we give up on Japan. We don't think we can get into that market anymore. We think Sony has that on lockdown pretty much. We're gonna stop spending money trying to get people from Japan to buy our games. If they want to buy it, sure, but we're not gonna go buy more studios there and spending more time. We've tried that, it didn't work, and they focus on China and Korea. I
As
mean,
long as
with
they
this
stay in
Crossfire
Asia.
X thing leading the charge, because I mean, the original Crossfire multiplayer aspect, 650 million players. Now, if you want to play the single player aspect, and we don't know how many people who play the multiplayer are going to be like, oh, I want to go buy an Xbox to go play the single player version, but if there's 650
Figure at
million
least a
people,
fourth. Yeah,
yeah,
figure even just like a fourth. That's a crazy
and
number.
especially you have Remedy doing it, who have made some really good single player games. So I mean, if they knock this out of the park and make a really good single player aspect of this game, and a lot of those people in China and Korea buy this, that effect could really bleed into Japan as well. Because I'm sure a decent amount of people in Japan play Crossfire X as well. I'm not.
If only that number is still just so crazy to me. Because even if a sixth of players got the single player, it would still be over 100 million people and one of the best-selling games of all time.
Yeah, I
I
don't. I'm trying to see more about
that
Crossfire. Give me a
that
sec.
is just insane. I mean, I think it's been available in the States here too for quite a while. I've seen it around. It kinda looked cheap to me.
Yeah,
You know,
it's looking like a CS:GO almost. Like,
I'm not really into that sort of stuff besides CS:GO. I love CS:GO back in the day. Now it's ruined, but I mean, I don't really need another one of those shooters. Like I tried
supposedly
getting
they're working on a new multiplayer as well for it, like Crossfire 2 technically. So I don't know if
mm,
they'll release this around the same time as Crossfire, the single player thing, and
oh,
try to
they
make a
they
push
probably
there.
will just to capitalize on it, just make the most money possible at once. You know,
I
because
mean, yeah,
if you release a single player alongside the second multiplayer, let's be honest, most people are gonna go to the multiplayer, but if you release it at the same time, they're like, "Hey, maybe I wanna take the single player out for a test run."
yeah,
If you release the single player first, people are gonna just maybe not be as interested, and if you launch the multiplayer first, which I think would be the most devastating out of these options that I've listed, the single player is gonna get barely any attention from the core audience because they're gonna be focusing on the new version of the multiplayer. So I say either put it out at the same time or put the single player out first, but definitely don't put the single player out after the new multiplayer because that would just be
yeah. It
detrimental
released
to the chance.
2007. It came out in South
Really?
Korea, 2007, and then they had other releases like in Europe. It came out in 2011. North America was 2009. China was 2008. Um, it has a lifetime total of 1 billion users. And that's the thing. Like a lot of these people might not play the game anymore. Like if you say, "Oh, 1 billion people have played this game," and it came out in 2007, a lot of these people might not actually
True.
still play
I
it.
thought 650 million was like
Like the current number,
their,
no.
their current player base. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know
So
what the current. I wish I could find that out. Like what their current. Like I know you can like go on Steam charts and like see CS:GO and be
yeah.
like, "Oh, all right, they have however many people playing this game currently," and it doesn't seem like there's a way to do that. But it's one of the highest grossing video games of all time. Um, and yeah, I
Sounds like
mean, yeah, here it is. Estimated 12 billion as of 2019. So the Crossfire franchise, and that's right behind Street Fighter, Space Invaders, Pac-Man, the Wii series, Dungeon Fighter Online, Call of Duty, Pokemon, and Super Mario. So that's
hmm.
one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, ninth out of all those, and right ahead of FIFA, Warcraft, Final Fantasy, League of Legends. So it's a really popular game.
Wait,
It's made a
it's
lot of
ahead of
money.
FIFA.
It's ahead of FIFA, ahead of
Oh
Warcraft, ahead
wow.
of Final Fantasy, ahead of League of Legends.
That I can't believe it's ahead of FIFA. That's wild. 'Cause I know they make like 100 million a year off the Ultimate Team
And
minimum.
I don't know if it's on consoles. I think it's just on PC. Now, obviously, a lot of people play PC in Asia. Um,
A lot of people play PC everywhere.
yeah,
I mean, it's the way the industry's going.
yeah. I'm not.
I'll tell you, once they stop making physical games for consoles, I'm switching to PC. I got no reason to play console if it's only digital. No
Yeah,
reason. Unless something's couch co-op. That'd
and
be it.
that's probably the next generation. They'll
Mm,
probably get rid of discs. That's my
Fortunately.
guess, at least.
I mean, you don't gotta talk like that, but
It's it's the sad truth. What?
I don't know, man. I'm holding out hope for culture to prevail and physical games will maintain their current place in the market, though I know that's a pipe dream. But limited run games, they're still doing God's work out there, so you know,
Yeah,
physical games will exist for a long time in one way or another, even if it's not the mainstream in the near future.
yeah. So it is gonna have a free to play multiplayer that's gonna come out at the same time as the actual single player.
Mm.
Smilegate Entertainment's working on the multiplayer, and they're the ones who've been working on it back in Asia and all that when it came out in 2007. So if they could do this, that would lead to a lot of people in Korea and China getting Xbox.
Yeah, like I was saying, launching at the same time would be their best bet for max revenue
Yeah,
and just getting in the most new players that you can. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, again, I wouldn't give it the time of day if Remedy wasn't working on the single player. Alan Wake is one of my favorite games ever made, and Control was super good. So we'll see how they do with an FPS. I love FPSs, as you guys can tell by what I played these past 2 weeks. So
yeah. They're saying the single
we'll
player
see.
is being inspired by Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil.
I
No,
like what I hear. I like what I
yeah.
hear. That's kind of interesting, though. I mean, for a military FPS, Metal Gear Solid, I understand, but I just hope we don't have a Left
I'm
Alive
assuming the
situation.
Resident Evil thing is going to be like bioterrorism, and that's going to be the inspiration there. That's my
Probably.
guess.
I mean, as long as it's not because I remember like Left Alive was like a Metal Gear Resident Evil type thing, and that game was just so terrible. So hopefully, it's not that type
Yeah.
of situation.
Well, on that note, do you have anything else to add to the conversation?
For this week's episode, I
Yes.
believe I do not.
All right.
Oh,
Well, oh,
one thing I will point out though, because I did see this on Xbox earlier. So if you guys um are playing on Xbox, if you go to Microsoft Rewards, there's a like a January 21 punch ticket that you can punch or something. I don't really know exactly what it's called, but essentially what it does from today, January 6th to January 26th, whatever if you activate this punch card, whatever achievements you earn in game will transfer over to Microsoft Rewards points up to 10,000. So you can use those points for Microsoft gift cards, Xbox gift cards. I think they have Amazon and Visa ones for like more expensive. They have a bunch of prizes. There's sweepstakes you can enter, but there's actually a good amount of stuff you can get with these points. So for the next 20 days, any achievements you earn up to 10,000 gamer score will transfer into Microsoft Rewards points if you punch this card. So if you go to the Microsoft Rewards app on your Xbox and you activate this, you could get yourself something nice, maybe a free game or something.
it's cool. Yeah, I've been doing that for a few months now, just doing like the punch cards every month.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah, I
didn't know
mean,
that was a thing, but they
like
got a
there's
special.
some like you'll get like $10 worth of points for just buying a game. Like I remember
Do
when I
you
got
still?
Modern Warfare
Because
2 Remastered, I got $5 in points for doing a punch card when I bought that, which is just cool. I mean,
so you have to do the punch card now because I gotta be honest, I hate the new point system because I used to rack them up like crazy because it just used to give you points for whatever purchase you would make. And that's how points worked. And I got a lot of stuff on Xbox, whether it be DLC or digital only games, whatever. I was racking up points. I was able to redeem at least like one $15 gift card every 2 months. And I
yeah.
was pretty okay with that. And now they just have all these different systems you have to work through to earn the points. And it's just so much more of a hassle because now points are more prevalent, more people know about the system, and they just make it harder to earn. But we here at the Game Preview are trying to help you guys out with that. So go to the rewards app on your Xbox and don't handicap yourself. Get some free goodies.
Also,
Goodies.
let me do a little plug here. If you haven't read a review on Spider-Man's Miles Morales and you feel like reading one that's 3 months late, it was just posted on thegamepreview.com, so you can go read that. Um, Yeah, I finally got that done last night or the night
You
before.
wanna you wanna tell the people what you gave it, the score?
Yeah, sure. I gave
I
it.
don't even
Let me
know.
pull up the article real quick. Gave it a nice 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it a
That's what I
lot.
would give it.
I did. I liked it. I had a few problems with the story. Um,
Still haven't beaten it, so no
yeah, I
spoilers.
know spoilers, but yeah, there's like a few things that don't really make sense, and when once you finally beat it, I will give you my opinion on a certain thing that happens toward the end of the game that makes no sense to me about a certain group of people that should be there but they're not there. But
Police.
yes, dude, it makes no fucking sense to me. There's something a major emergency's happening and they're just gone. They're like they all fucking retired or something. But
Dunkin' Donuts was having a buy one, get one free sale. Here you go.
ooh, but
I wish.
your gameplay it's good. I liked it, and there really I had one bug, just one bug, and you probably got to this point in the game. You got the dinner scene. I think I talked to you about this, right? The
Yeah,
dinner scene. He drops the fucking soup like Kevin in the office. He spills it on the floor, and he goes to get the
I
cleaning
think so.
supplies. But for
I
me,
think
instead of going to the bathroom to get the cleaning supplies, he goes and does work on his computer, and then he gets it after you take like a DVD out. It was really weird, but that was it. That was my only glitch I had. Um,
so overall, like, a polished experience.
yeah, it was really polished. Yeah, it was good.
That's what I saw
And
from when I
60 FPS, dude. Come on, incredible. Just feels so smooth. Just and they
oh, the
also
web
have a ray tracing mode for 1080p with 60 FPS now if you're on the PS5.
I saw
Which
they added that, that's
that's
very good.
probably how I would have played it if that was like that at launch.
I might. I might switch to that. I have to see.
Yeah, but on that note, guys, thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys, take care.